Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're on your journey to enter the tech world, you are in the right place. I am so glad you are here. Before we dive into today's video, let me share something quick and inspiring. Quincy Larson, the founder of FreeCodeCamp, was working as a school director when he decided to teach himself how to code. He didn't come from a tech background, but with consistency and grit, he built one of the largest free learning platforms in the world. Millions of us, including myself, have been able to start our coding journey because of that one decision made. And that's why this channel exists too. To encourage you to take real steps on your developer journey, one code line at a time. So, if you are ready to be with me, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, and follow along. In today's video, we are going to build a Lightbox image gallery step by step using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. By the end, you will learn about DOM manipulation, interactive user interface design, string manipulation, and more. That being said, let us code. Alright guys, let us jump into the code and fulfill every requirement exactly described in the user story. So before doing that, we should first of all look at an example project. Here's the example project, Museum Gallery. So there are 3 images. On every image there's an other effect. When you click on one image, this image becomes full screen. And when you click on the close button, the image retakes its original size. So that's just the project. So let's go on with the first user case. The first user case is asking us to create a div with a class named gallery in our body. And the second user case is asking us to create inside the gallery element. So after creating the div, with class name gallery, inside we shall create 3 images thumbnail, each with a class name of gallery item. You should use the links here. So I've already pre-created. So let me just copy and paste it here. Finish this. Wow. This look nice. Well, so let's go on and take look if it appears. The images just appear on our preview. So after doing that, the next step is the third user case, which is asking us that we should create a div with a class named Lightbox within the body. So yeah, we should create a class a div. So just create the div. Sorry. Class name Lightbox. Where is it? So the next step here is you should have a button within the ID with an ID of close button within your Lightbox element. You can use the item, you can use these times as its text if you want. So I think that here is the logo or the emoji sign of the close button. So this close button that we're talking about, this one here, or this one. So it's basically the same thing. So let me just create it up. Move forward. So next step here is to the feed. it's asking us you should have an image tag with an ID of Lightbox image within your Lightbox element, so within this element. So let's do it. So normally, here's the ID, the source, we let it blank, the alt. Since I know what the project is about, I just put for the alt, which is a description of the image, full size preview. So it's better to put it like that so that you can easily understand what it's about. For anyone who reads your code, can easily understand what the use of this image tag here. So we have already done everything that is necessary for the HTML. So here's a preview. Here is our button here, as you can see. So we have already done everything that is necessary for the HTML. Now let us move on to the styling. That is the CSS. So let me close this guy. Now before doing that, I need to connect my first of all, connect my JavaScript, connect my HTML and my JavaScript, right? So it's very important because it can be frustrating if you don't know why, for example, your project, your code is not working. So I'm saying that it can be like you have written the code, you have loaded it, but there's nothing that shows, nothing is functioning, like things like that. And the reason for that is that sometimes we forget to like connect our HTML to our JavaScript or to our CSS. So to connect all the three files together. So that's what I'm just talking about here. So let's do the same thing for the CSS file. Okay. That being done, let us close the HTML and go on to the CSS file and start styling. So now for the CSS file, we are going to read we're going to work on the user stories from 6 to 9. So let's start with the number 6, which says your Lightbox element should have a fixed position so that the preview opens on the top of the current image. So what I'm basically saying is that when I click here, the preview is opening on the top of the images. So to do that is pretty easy. So just create your Lightbox element, right? And make sure that the position is fixed. So after doing that, let's read it again. Let us take the user case 7. Your Lightbox element should cover the entire viewport by setting the height and width to 100 of the container, and you should ensure that the Lightbox element start at the top left corner of the container. Okay, to do that is pretty easy. If you want to learn how this CSS stuff element are working, I really recommend you to take a look at the documentation. So let's just write position. Yeah, you can really see it's really nice, sticky position, absolute, static. It's really nice. So you can just look at it and learn more about this positioning stuff. So now let's just try and code the things. Sorry. So they say the top should be top left here should be 0. Now left should be 0 and left. Okay, so after the top and the left, we have the height and the width that should be 100. So height 100%, as I usually say, read 100%. Okay. Now let's go to the number 8 user story, which says that you should have a background color. Okay. Initially, its display property should be set to none to hide it. Okay. Display property. Let's go to the documentation. Display property. So these are all the display property. Okay. Is there any? I think that if you look inside here, you will see a display property that is height. And yeah, you can do that is to do that is very easy. So just display none. Sorry, I think that is none. Yeah, there's a display none. So after doing that, we go on to the 9th. You should click one. When you click one of the items element, the Lightbox element property should set the flex to, okay, here we're already talking about the JavaScript part. So now what I will do is that I will just try and, because I've already done the code, so for it to be nicer, because the other user stories are not telling us how to make it exactly like this, because they're just giving us the basic steps. So I'll just copy the code that I did and paste it. So I'll just try a little bit explain it. I just left the comment below. Sorry, display none. I just left the comment. So here is the first part for the Lightbox. Now for the Lightbox image, we shall use this. I think that you can leave it if you want, but I really did it because I want that the thing should really look nice. So I can just explain quickly. So the Lightbox image is where we shall display our full screen. So that's why here it's maximum 90 and 80%. Now the close button is just the styling for our close button. As you can see here, here's the close button. Where is it? Okay, close button is no. Close button. Yes, let me check in, please. Okay, the close button normally, the initially is supposed to be hidden, sorry. So the background is now transparent. Normally, initially it's supposed to be hidden. It's only when you click on the image that the close button is appearing. So as you can see here, yes. So now let's go on to the other part of the CSS. The other part is now we want to make that the gallery thumbnails look clean and clickable, like what the project shows us. So here is basically I will just talk about the over effect, individual gallery items, and the gallery itself. So there's a code. So here's the code for the gallery. Display flex that enables the flex layout, centers the item horizontally because the items are like this. So if you go in here and go just to content, you can see, so space out, even you can really understand. So the display items should be like this. So the gap between the images should be 20 pixels. So as you can see in the project, the gap here is gap between the images, and the margin top is supposed to be 50 pixels.
So now we have the individual gallery item, which are the images with 150 cursor pointer. That is when we go on to move our mouse on the image, the cursor pointer change. You can see that it's becoming a pointer, right? With the index pointing you like that, and because when you remove it, becomes back a mouse. So same thing with the other effect. Okay, there's also this transition effect. Transform is like the time when you change from a mouse to the pointer. So that's just the transition effect. And this other effect, like you can see, it becomes bigger. When you move, it becomes smaller. So let me just zoom it just for you to understand better. So you can just copy the code very fast and move on. So that was just it for the CSS. Normally, this this part of the curriculum is about JavaScript. If you want to learn more about CSS, there is also another part for CSS. Just take a look at it. So guys, we are done with the CSS part. Now let's go on to the JavaScript part, which is the most important. Actually, let me just say it like this. So about the JavaScript part, we are going to analyze this user story 9, 10, and 11. So which basically tells that when you click on one of the gallery item, the lightbox element display property should set the flex to make the lightbox element and the two elements visible within it visible. So the 10th user story is when you click one of the gallery item elements, the lightbox image elements source should be set to full-size version of the image clicked by removing the thumb, so this string from the image source. So we're talking about this image, so we have to remove this guy from the image source. Zoom it a bit. Okay, remove the guy from the image source. From the image source attribute, the full-size image are located in this lens. Okay, and the 11 user story is telling us that when your lightbox element is visible and you click on the close button or the lightbox element's display should be set back to none. So we already know what it means to set something to none. So if you don't have any idea about it, just type display CSS and you have enough examples to understand what we're talking about here. So before doing that, we shall create some variables. So the first variable that we'll create is a variable that will select all the gallery images with the class name gallery items. So to create that, we create a variable named gallery items and use a query selector all. The second variable that we create is a variable for the lightbox. So we have to here store a variable that we have to use a variable to store the lightbox container by its ID name. So lightbox. So here is it. Let me go back. Okay, here's it. So now I'm remembering that when we were writing our HTML, we didn't say that the lightbox, we didn't use an ID for the lightbox. So as you can see here, the lightbox has already a class name. So let me just use the ID here so that we don't have any error, because if I'm using an ID on my JavaScript site, whereas on my HTML site, there is no ID for the lightbox, the code will not work. So it's very important to check all this small stuff, because it's really the reason why sometimes coding can be really frustrating. So after doing that, we create an image. We create another variable that selects the image element inside the lightbox. So the image element inside the lightbox is these images, as you know. These images, let me just show quickly. So these images. So here is the Lightbox element. I don't know how to show it. I don't have any pen to draw, but here is the Lightbox element. So here is the variable. And the second and the last variable that we have to create is a variable for the close button. So that we have to add eventually an event listener, because when you click on the close button, it will close everything. So we have to add an event listener. So I'm talking about this guy here. So to do that, here is the constant. Now let's go on to the next part, which is basically opening the Lightbox. So yeah, since we have many items in our gallery, say many images in our gallery, so we shall loop through each image gallery and attach a click event listener to it, so to each image, so that when a gallery image is clicked, first of all, we shall replace this string suffix, let's say like this thumbnail, scratch thumbnail, in the image's URL to get the full image size, update the source of the Lightbox image, and lastly, display the image box by setting the CSS display to flex. So to do that is pretty easy. So let's just write open the box. So to do that is pretty easy. So you just connect the gallery item. Say connect a gallery item. So for that we shall use a for each method. So for each method that will help us to loop through the various gallery items. So since we're using this query all selector returns a list. So you can check it inside the documentation. It's very easy, returns a list. So for each item inside the gallery, what we shall do, we shall run the following function. So we shall now attach, since I said the first step is to attach a click event to every gallery item. So add event listener. So the event here is a click event. So now we have already added app to every event, to every images, so to every item inside the gallery item and event listener. So now what we shall do here is to make sure that first of all we replace the suffix thumbnail in the image link, so that we can have the full size of the image. Afterward, update the source of the Lightbox in the image and finally display the Lightbox by setting CSS display to flex. So to do that, here is the code. As you can see, we created here a variable to store the new link. So we got access to the old link, this link here, and we use the function, the string method replace, so that we can replace thumbnail with nothing. So we shall basically remove thumbnail. So here's the thing. Here's the documentation of the function of the string method replace. So if you want to learn more about it, just look at it. Just take a look at it. So now we set the image source, we set the source attribute of Lightbox image to full screen. Afterwards, so finally, we change the style, we change the display. So we got access to the style of the Lightbox and change the display to flex. So that's how we do to open the image, to make sure the image becomes full screen. So let's just check it. So that's it. As you can see, the click button is not working. Nothing is working. So we shall just try and arrange that. So now the next step to do here is with the close button. So I was talking about the close button. So the next step to do here is with the close button. So the close button will be like, we shall attach a click event listener to the close button, so that when this button is being clicked, the lightbox shall be hidden by setting its display style to none. So very easy thing to do. So let me just comment here, close button. Zoom it here. Let me write it close. So ETN. We'll get event listener. So the event that we're listing here is a click. Listening here is a click. So after doing so, what shall happen every time that we shall click on the close button? We shall simply, as I described earlier, we shall simply change the display of the light button. So we get access to the we get access to the style of the light box. Then we get access to the display. So we change it to none so that we can basically close the screen. So we can basically close the image. So I click on it. When I click here, it's closed. It disappears. Click, close it. So we just use it to give this closing effect, as you can see. So click here. So the next, the last user case, which was number 11, says that when this one, you have to cover this one, says that when your lightbox element is visible and you click on the close button of the lightbox element, the lightbox element's display should be set back to none. So that is, what it's saying here is that, for example, here's the example project. When I click on the image, okay, it becomes full screen. If I click outside of the image, the full screen should disappear. So the image should disappear and will take its original size. So that effect, so this closing effect should be done to the closing effect that I have here when I click on the close button here, should be the same when I click outside of the image. So outside of the full screen image, like here. So that's what they're asking us basically to do here. So to do that, we should first of all attach a click event listener to the lightbox background. Afterward, after doing that, when the lightbox background, not the image, is clicked, we shall hide the lightbox by setting its display to none. This ensures that clicking outside the image closes the lightbox. So to do that is pretty easy. Since we have this our variable lightbox, so lightbox, we add an event listener to it. So after adding it, we have the event listener create. So to the event, we should make sure that if the target, so what we have clicked here, is equals to lightbox, we change automatically his display to none. So we say event, we get access to the target. So if the target is strictly equals to lightbox, so the variable lightbox, what happens is that we get access to the lightbox type, to the lightbox display and set it to none. So that's just it. So it's lightbox display style point display is equals to let's just try if it's working. Let's see if it's working. Okay, it's working. So when I click here, I'll say it's working. When I click here, it's working. When I click here, it's working. So guys, I think that we're done for this project. Let me just try and run the test very fast and see if it's working. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. I really hope that you enjoy this project. If you have any question about it, just let me know. So if you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment about the project you want to build next. I'm documenting my journey to becoming a full stack developer with the FreeCodeCamp. So join me and let us build cool things together. Thank you for watching.